Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV, movie related. And you know, I'm here to put you on, but I'm not here to put you on all by myself today. I am back with two lovely panelists that you can see over here, and we are back to talk Dune Prophecy Episode 2. Y'all know we were here last week and talked about it and loved it, okay? And I just want to know, before we get into these slides, because they're extensive, because y'all know this is my show and I take copious amounts of notes. But Nikki, I want to start with you over there at A Night of Horror. Do you have the same feeling about the show after watching episode 2?
And absolutely not. Absolutely not. I loved it for the first episode, and now I am massively, unequivocally in love. Truly, madly, deeply obsessed. And Desmond is a true MVP.
How did I know? How did I know? How did I know she was going to love every single bit of his toxicity? But you know what? I'm not far off, because Valia pissed me. I'm telling you, this pride she has is going to be her ticket to the grave, because he's not about to play with her. EJ,
Yeah.
the TV junkie. Are your feelings the same after watching episode 2 as they were last week? Or have they changed?
No, I mean, I still like it. I'm still getting into it, so I feel like I got to get a little more engulfed into it. I was trying to get into the book. Y'all know I like to listen to a book at the same time while I'm looking at the show. But yeah, but I do like it, and I'm sorry, but Desmond is not it. Desmond is trash.
I'm not bad. It's something about a villain, if he's really a villain, which I think he is, because he did make a deal with the devil in the desert. But it's something about somebody standing on big business. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna call a thing a thing. There's not going to be cloak and dagger. It's gonna be like, no, that I said what I said. I meant it, and I'll do it again. I'm here for that type of energy in my villains. If that's what we're calling him.
He's not a villain.
He's a villain.
So we are here, and we are going to chop it up, and we are going to break it down. Okay. And so I want to know, we talked about just feelings about the show in general, but as far as your overall thoughts of episode 2, specifically Two Wolves, I'm going to start with you, EJ. What were your overall thoughts from this episode, and what did you take away from it?
Yeah, no, I like this episode a lot. I was like, okay, we gonna move quick, so we're not even gonna play around with it. We just gonna get straight to it. I really thought that there was gonna be like this whole, maybe like go a few episodes without the Emperor finding out who Desmond really was or what his thing really was. But we just straight to it. So I like that particular aspect of it. Like, go ahead and feed me. And they don't mind taking people out, quote unquote, maybe. You know,
No, they don't. I
they don't mind
I
taking
think
people out.
I think we're gonna see some people drop, and I'm absolutely okay with that. That makes it exciting. Nikki, what were your overall thoughts of episode 2, Two Wolves? And from your estimation and from what you kind of gleaned from the episode, who were the two wolves?
Well, I took it as the two wolves being like that standoff that we were talking about last episode that we thought they were going to build to, which is Valia and Desmond. I didn't know they would face off this soon, but look, we only have 6 episodes. They're not playing games. They're getting to what needs to be gotten to, and I feel like they are the two wolves. That was like round 1 went to Desmond, but of course we're not done, and of course Valia got some stuff up her sleeve, and we don't know, she might win he won the battle, but we got to see who's going to win the war. And that was just battle 1. But overall, I really thought this was an exceptional episode. Like, I was actually just having a conversation with Tyra from Struggle Reviews TV about how lackluster it feels like TV has been this year. And I think the last time I was like really excited for TV might have been The Last of Us. And I wouldn't say this is nowhere near that level, but it's the best that I like, the most excited I've been for something. Like, I'm just so into it. And the Emperor, who I like to call King Viserys, Oh, he is weak as hell. Weak. The way he thought he bucked up this episode, but he's still letting somebody else be in his ear. But I love Desmond, and for me, I love how I don't think Desmond is a villain per se, okay? Because he said his number one like priority is the Imperium, and like you said, there's no cloak and dagger with Desmond. That's what I like about him. There are no pretense. There, like he is 100% real, honest, and that is what he doesn't like about the Sisterhood and Valia. They are about being sneaky, lying, deception. So to me, that don't make good guys, and being the honest one don't make you a villain. So I'm with Desmond. I'm for the Imperium. I don't even really know what that means, but
I liken Desmond to, and I'm not. I mean, this is kind of far off. But as far as when you think of the original Game of Thrones, OG Game of Thrones, and you think about the spider, right? Anybody could get it. It wasn't personal. It was about the good of the realm, right? And so that's what I think the type of time that Desmond is on. And in my recap, my review that I uploaded, I basically said anybody could get it. He's not going to be loyal to any one person. He's going to take whatever actions he needs that he thinks is good for the Imperium, which is like, their solar system, their galaxy, whatever.
I'm fresh in the
So,
world of Dune. I mean, I got that. It meant like I was like, okay, he must mean like the kingdom, the world. But I'm like, okay, fuck.
mhm. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So as the scene opens up, we meet a new sister. And I said, she must be the top doc, okay? Because they brought Tula back to the Sook school, I believe what it is. And this sounds like their medical school where they do like scientific discovery, whatever. They're doing an autopsy on Kasha. And poor Kasha, burnt from the inside out. We also hear talk from the Alkalites that this was an assassination. And of course it was. She was the closest to the Carino emperor. And we talked about this last week as well. This was a strategic move by Desmond. Later on, Desmond talks about how I knew the intentions of her heart and she was not right. She was not upright. She was going for y'all's secret plan. So I had to take her out. Nikki, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of the introduction of this new character? Are we going to get any more of her? And what is your take on Tula and Kasha and this whole situation being an assassination and that the Sisterhood should be on guard going forward?
Okay, well, first, what are alkalites? Is that like another race?
So, they're like the initiates, like the girls that you see
Oh,
in
okay.
the plane at the Sisterhood school. That's what I call them, alkalites, initiates, whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, okay, is that enough? Because I was trying to see that Dune movie, and I'm like, it's a lot of little races. I was like, okay, now who are the acolytes? Okay, but back to the topic. I absolutely love the little acolyte who was talking in the little group, and she said, "Baby, this is assassination." Like she was the one that we were all kind of tiptoeing around things, and I think she's the one that Valia took to the palace with her. And I don't know about look. Desmond said that he knew Kasha's heart was dishonest. If we were not doing all of this cloak and dagger trickery, we wouldn't really be in danger. But since everything we do is about lying and the betterment of the sisterhood and sneaking up somebody on the throne, I think we all need to be worried. Like it seems like he can kind of make your head explode with just a thought in his mind. Like what was that movie back in the day when they was exploding people's heads with their mind? Like he literally is just
The
burning people
boys.
up. We need to be worried. And this doctor, I really like her. I'm just not sure at this moment the bigger part she could play unless she's going to be able to find a way for us to figure out this whole thing with Desmond, the fact that the voice doesn't work on him, the fact that, he can burn people up. So like she's a doctor, but with this like fantasy world, I don't really know to what extent power she has because the doctor in the Dune movie, he just put his hand on the little boy's head and he was like figuring stuff out. And we know the Sisterhood has powers that we maybe not. Yes, Scanners. Thank you, Rico. Scanners is the movie that was exploding people's heads. But we were saying last episode, we don't know the extent of the powers of the Sisterhood. So I'm very curious where everyone goes. It's like they're in the Sisterhood, they go off to all these different things. So she goes off and she's like the school of medicine, the doctor. So I'm very curious what other like power she could have. But right now, I can't say I really cared about her character. Like, I don't know, it wasn't much that I really got from her. Like, I get the point of this whole thing, but what I will say I got from this, I said I thought Tula was going to turn on Valia, and I definitely think we're going that route because I feel like she's going to feel some type of guilt. She already said how Kasha had this, dream, and she was trying to tell us something, and we didn't listen. I think this is the catalyst for, and other things that will possibly happen, the catalyst for her going against Valia and no longer believing in this like one-way vision that Valia has had the sisterhood on.
I agree. I think this is all set up for what we're initially going to see. The reason I asked about this doctor, though, is because they made such a moment of her entrance. Because I was like, who is this woman? Like, she just coming in like she's finna get stuff together. So I agree. I think she'll be pivotal in discovering what type of magic, for lack of a better word, Desmond is using. You know what I'm saying? EJ, was this an assassination? And should all the sisters be worried at this point?
Definitely an assassination, and I do believe that everybody should be worried. When we get to that part where she does the thing and he's not moved at all by it, I knew right there. I was like, oh yeah, this is not this ain't regular. So this is like some other force that's pushing. Like, I don't know exactly what force it is because I feel like we haven't been introduced to it just yet. But I do feel like all of them should be worried. If he could come and get someone as powerful as Kasha, if he could do that from way across the world, because they in different worlds and stuff, if he can do that from there, just imagine what he can do. Like, I mean, I just feel like he can totally dismantle this whole thing. But because there is a plan in place, I don't think he's going to go like that. Like, I think he's going to go based on his plan, step by step. He's going to dismantle it little by little by little, piece by piece. He already started with the removal of Kasha. Now she's gone. Now he can have the Emperor's ear, right? Because she no longer has this ear. Now he can turn them against them, period. Like, you don't need the sisterhood. You need me, because this what I'm gonna do. And it's always a woman somewhere up there doing something extra, because that wife of his, she was the one that put the battery in the bag. I'm telling you, always a woman that's just do stuff. But I'm still not here. Yes, it is always that doggone woman that's doing stuff. Listen, I really am not. I'm not on anybody's team just yet. I'm not for or against anybody yet. But Desmond, something ain't right with him. I don't fully trust him, but I know that they can trick us sometimes. But I also don't fully trust the sisterhood either. So I'm like right here in the middle somewhere. I'm with the doggone acolytes. Forget that. I'm with them.
I'm with the kids at this point.
I'm with the kids at this point. Exactly.
Well, I'm excited to see how it develops. I think this show, if it's not doing anything, it's telling us a story, and I'm here for it. I really, before it even came out, when I saw the preview, I said, this is going to be something special. And I just really hope people get a hold of it and don't get blinded by the fact that it is woman-centered, because that's been kind of like a lot of the commentary that I've been hearing. And I'm like, y'all just need to stop. Like, it's okay to have a show where women are centered. Like, it's fine. Women can be strong and have dimension and have depth. That's okay. Like, I just really want more people to get involved. But anyway, moving on down the road, I don't give a damn. This is for the greater good. We see Valia talking to her sister Tula, and is basically like, listen, Lila, I know you raised her. I know you feel like that's your child. At the end of the day, she's not your child. Okay. And we're talking about one person's life versus the rest of the Imperium. So I don't give a damn. Use your wiles, deceive her, do whatever you need to do to get her to go along with this process. Right. And at this moment, we don't really know what the process is. We know that we learned that it's called the agony, and it is they say it's not a dream state because she actually goes there, but I guess it's something typically that the acolytes have to prepare for years, right? Because they're going to be given this dose of poison that's going to take them to the other realm. When I was talking to Bay, he was like, oh, this reminds me of like Wakanda when he went to the astral plane and talked to his father, like the ancestors. This is basically what you're getting in the agony. The issue is if you're not mature in your powers, how to regulate your body chemistry, how to adapt to the poison, they can keep you there. It also reminded me of Chaos. If you watch Chaos and you saw Tartarus, that's also what this place reminds me of. But basically, Tula is like, she's not ready. She's not old enough. Like, this could kill her. And again, Valia don't give a good gosh darn it. Like, she could care less. EJ, talk to me about this. Did you think Tula was actually going to go along with this? Or did you think this was going to be her moment to like rebel?
I honestly thought she was going to rebel. I mean, she really loves this child, you know, like it's her, like she's her own. And so I thought she was going to rebel, especially when we find out that Valia wasn't going to be there. I was like, well, shit, she ain't going to go through with it. I mean, she's not going to be here. What are we going to do, right? So I was, I mean, it is what it is. Valia said we got one job and one job only, and that's what we got to do. And if you got to sacrifice yourself for the greater good, like Desmond said to the little boy that he unalived, Nikki, if you got to if you got to go for the greater good, then it is what it is. Okay.
That part.
Period.
And we also discovered that, of course, her ancestor is Raquella, Mother
Yeah.
Superior that we saw pass in the first episode. Nikki, were you surprised that that was the ancestor that Lila, because in the first episode, they allude to the fact that Lila is connected, but Lila, like, I don't know my people. I was born here, raised here. I have no clue. So basically, they've been lying to her whole life. And now I'm going to come out here and tell you that Raquella was your grandmother. Were you surprised? And did you think that Tula was going to rebel in this moment because of her love for Lila?
First of all, EJ, why is Desmond in it? But you know what? I was most
Making a point.
upset of the fact that when we find out that her ancestor is Raquella, I was so mad at myself for not immediately thinking of Dorothea. That is what I was mad about, because I feel like I should have saw that coming. I was like, damn it, because we knew that that was her grandmother, Dorothea, and so when we found out, I'm like, why didn't I think of her? And you want to talk about villainy? I thought this was so evil. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I thought this was so evil to put that little girl through. Like, they say in here you have to go through years of training before you can go through the agony. And for a procedure or whatever you want to call it to be called the agony, baby, no. And I completely agree with the acolyte who was like, no, they're using you. And I always thought about what the acolyte said. They always say sisterhood above all, not you, not an individual sister, because I remember thinking that when she killed Dorothea, like, how are you saying sisterhood above all, but you just killed the sister? Because really it's the power of what the sisterhood is. It's not each individual sister. I feel like they are pawns on the chessboard to Valia, and she will exterminate and use whoever she needs to for her end goal. She don't give a shit about them people, about the acolytes, about the alkaline water. She don't care. I really truly, like, this actress did good, because I honestly felt like my heart was hurting for her in the moment, the way she was screaming. And even the people looking down were like freaked out at the way she was reacting. It was so sad. But I will say, I was a little thrown off, because was Lila dead at the end? That kind of threw me off.
Dead as a doornail, and we're gonna get to it. She looked dead.
I said, did baby die? But then I was also confused, because when she's about to go under, Tula says this is a poison with no antidote. So I'm like, wait, so is she giving her life to do this? Like, do you die to do this? But yeah, I guess a mother's love ain't that damn strong, because I thought that Tuya would not put this girl through that, especially when the lady comes and she's like, you could tell Valia she don't have to send her spies. I thought she was not going to go through with it, but I'm glad she went through with it, because like I said earlier, I think this is a catalyst for her going against her sister. But I feel like it would be unrealistic for her to go against her sister just yet. I think there will be stepping stones, because she's followed her sister. I mean, since she told her sister, let's both come to the sister, like, she's been following her sister basically her whole life. I think it will take a lot for her to go again. I think she looks up to her sister. She craves her sister's respect. She believes in her. So I think it takes a lot. You're basically, if Tuya goes against Valia, it's basically, to me, the equivalent of somebody kind of going against their religion and everything they believe in. Like, she believes in this and she believes in Valia. But it looked like a horror movie. When she went into the little afterlife and you saw them shadowy, baby, the way I would have said, pull me out. Pull me out. Like, so creepy. But
We'll get to it, but I have a whole theory about what could have happened in there. But listen, we don't.
Look, and I feel like honestly, that little baby was unprepared for what she was about to go through. Like I
Absolutely.
thought this whole thing was extremely evil and using that little girl. And I kind of feel like, babe, what was the point? Because what did y'all get? Like, what did y'all really get from
She
that?
gotta grow up sometime.
That cryptic ass message.
EJ, now she got to grow up sometime. I just feel like she had no clue what she was walking into. It was definitely a setup. And with the prompt, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I think it's in the next slide or the slide after that. But meanwhile, while she sends Tula with the orders, and she's just so confident because I'm that girl, and if I tell you to do something, you're going to do it. Tula. She goes and she takes Theodosia with her. And now we meet Theodosia very briefly in episode 1, but according to Valia, she is one of the strongest acolytes, right? That is there. But when she's chosen, she's surprised because she says, I'm about that thing. And so I want to know from you, Nikki, what is this thing with Theodosia? And are we going to see her more and more? Because I was like, interesting choice, because I don't think this is her favorite acolyte. And then what is this thing? Like, what is this thing that they didn't get into in the episode with Theodosia?
When I tell you, I have to ask y'all a lot of questions. Because this ain't I don't even know how you know the little black girl name. I don't know her name. It's too much with all these little, and they got some, you cannot talk about black people in our names because these names on this show is a lot. But, baby, I was going to ask y'all because they made it sound so like kind of, I don't know, cloaked. And I want to say a little, I was like, wait, what's with her? And when Valia goes to say, like if I had another choice, I'm like, wait, what? I don't have a damn clue. I want to know. Like I'm curious.
I think she had a relationship with one of them girls in there. I think that's against the sisterhood rules.
But see, and I was just gonna say, like, this is like a. Okay, now don't let me sound stupid. Are we in the past or the future? We in the future, right? Like
we're
this
in
is
the future.
Like a future world. Like, baby, we can't be gay in the future either. Like, I just can't fathom that would be an issue. Like, we can't do that. Ain't no.
It might not be the issue of being gay, but maybe you can't mess with the sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Well, ain't nobody else here. I ain't got no other options.
It could be like the nunnery, like you take a vow of whatever. We don't really know much about
their
ways.
Celibacy.
I don't know, because the little girls didn't sound like it when they was talking. Remember, they didn't sound like it
when the prince came in. That girl said, "I love a man with nothing to do with idle hands" or something like that.
Y'all, for the book readers and for the movie watchers, the Bene Gesserit or Gesserit, whatever it is, do they have rules about that kind of stuff? If anybody knows, Rico or Critical or anybody who's read or watched those, let us know, because I'm curious.
It can't be, because in the movie, that little boy mama was with the Bene Gesserit and she was a whole concubine. So I don't think they take a vow. I just feel like it has to be something bigger than like something sexual. I don't know. That feels so small. When she says, "But you know my circumstance," I don't think you hunting on people with your circumstance. Like, I don't know. It sounded very, I don't know. It sounds bigger than just something sexual.
So you think she maybe misused her powers or took some like independent actions?
Yes, like remember the girl who goes up and tells that story about she was sold as a child and she laughs? Like maybe, these people, like all the girls' backgrounds are a little different. Maybe she got here and went and got revenge for something like before. Like that to me sounds more serious than just like hunching on somebody. Like, I don't know. Like to me, that seems kind of small. But again, I'm just getting into, I literally just finished that Zendaya Dune movie yesterday. Like, I'm just getting into the world, so I'm not clear on, like, the rules and regulations, but I don't think it would be something sexual. Like, that's just my opinion.
Okay. Do you think we'll see her more, though? Do you think we'll see Theodosia more? Okay.
And I was actually worried about her at the end of the episode, because when Valia comes back and Desmond is like, "Bitch, you ain't welcome no more," like, kick rocks. I was like, well, she left little baby in there with the princess. Like, where is she? Because we know he don't like the sisterhood. When, I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead to a slide, but when Valia says to him, "What do you want?" He's like, he want the whole sisterhood out of here. So I was worried about her So if we are gonna see her again, is she gonna be getting burned up? Like, did we let her leave the palace safely?
I don't know. I don't like her being hooked up with Nezzy. That pissed me off. And the way Nezzy treated her pissed me off. Because what happened to Kasha? Girl, don't disrespect me. And I already don't like you. EJ, you think we're going to get more Theodosia? And what did you think about that interaction between her and Nezzy later in the episode?
Yeah, so I definitely hope that we get more Theodosia because that's a name, boy. That's a name. I hope we get more of her, but I mean, I kind of felt the same way you felt. I felt like Nessie is in her feels right now about, Kasha. And so she just kind of coming at whoever the way, that's how I took it. Because I actually low key like the princess, y'all. So I got to find a way to cape for her just a little bit. Maybe that's why she was feeling that way. Maybe that's why she did what she did. But I am intrigued about the character Theodosia. I want to know more about her from the very first moment that I saw her, even though she didn't have a lot going on. But when I went and looked at when we were looking at like each characters and stuff like that, I was like, this might be a character that might be worth exploring. Like, I really want to know a little bit more about her. And then when they said that cryptic stuff in this episode, all it did was intrigue me more. I was like, okay, what happened? I need to know.
And easing on down the road, we see
Why is
Kieran
this man on the
Atreides
screen?
because he was a part of this episode. And I mean, I knew we couldn't trust him. I just didn't know for what reasons. But I still don't like Nezzy. Actually, I dislike her even more. Like I said, because don't play on my good sis's top. Don't do any of the sort. I don't care about these dry relations that these two have. I just put this slide in for continuity and posterity. What I really wanted to talk about though was, hold on. There we go. Kieran Atreides is a double agent. I'm actually proud of them. I was like, oh, you might have a little depth here, sir, because he's apparently still in secret. Looked like he was still on a thumb drive. Goes back to the bar. I was completely wrong. He wasn't smashing my good sis with the blue eyes. He wasn't smashing. He's actually a double agent. He is a part of the rebellion because he is a descendant of Vorian Atreides, and he's here to get his name back. He here to run the Imperium. And I said, well, at least you have a mission. I don't know if it's the casting or the way these actors are written, but he does nothing to move me. Like him, Nezzy, Constantine, they could all kick rocks. I don't feel one way. I feel just ambiguous about each of them. EJ, talk to me about Kieran Atreides. Were you surprised he was a double agent?
I wouldn't say surprise per se, but I was happy. But I wouldn't say completely surprised because I just knew there was something off with him. I just didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew there was something. But I like the fact that he's a double agent, and actually, quite frankly, on this episode, when I found out that he was a double agent, I actually low key started liking him a little more. I was like, okay, I
They gave him
actually
a personality.
yeah, I was like, I actually like you, and I don't appreciate you just going to skip that slide about Nancy like
We'll
that.
go back. We can go back, I guess, if you want to. You want to talk about it here? I'm sorry. Listen, I wanted to get to the.
All I'm saying is that listen. I didn't have a lot to say about it. All I'm saying is that I like her. Okay, and I don't think we should be sleeping on her just yet. I think that this is going to be a character that is going to grow on us, and I like her and Atreides together. So don't be sleeping on her. Let's just give her a little more time. Let's give her a little more time.
Okay. You want to talk about this, Nikki, at all here?
If they don't stop showing this little toddler playing with them swords, I cannot take it. Every time, I don't know if HBO didn't have no kind of training camp for this girl, but she can't even hold the sword. Her fiddling around with that sword, it just looks so like I don't believe you. Like, you know how you see an actor in a role and you just believe them? I don't believe her when her sword fighting, like it looks terrible. But I'm not really a Nezzy fan. Like, I like that she went to the freak off club. That won her a lot of points with me. But outside of that, I don't really care for her. But I will say I didn't feel any type of way about how she went at old girl, because I actually thought the way the girl was talking to her was crazy, because the person who has kind of raised me, the person I've been close to, was just murdered, and you talking to me about the classes we gonna take? I thought that was weird. Like, don't talk to me about the classes we gonna take and you gonna be my roommate. I don't care about that. I was completely on board with her saying, no, tell me what happened to Kasha. Like, that's what's important to me right now. Yes, I said, take me away from here and I want to go to the school, but I thought it was odd that I'm mourning someone and you're talking to me about classes. But when it comes to this actor and his character, I don't think there's a problem with the actor, if I'm honest, with this guy, this Atreides. I think the issue is carrying Atreides. I think the issue is we have such like massively dynamic and interesting characters here that in the mix of that, characters like him and Constantine, it's kind of like you just want to flick them off the board. And I don't think it's the actors. I think it's just because we have much more interesting characters to focus on that are engaging. Like, I feel like even if you don't like Valia, even if you don't like Desmond, they're still such an engaging and dynamic part that putting Constantine and Atreides next to them, it just, I don't know. I think something just fizzles with them, but I don't think it's the actors. I think they're competent with what they're given to do. But let's be honest, him and Constantine aren't really given a lot to do. When I saw that he was a double agent, I got a little respect for him. I did. I got a little respect for him. I said, okay, you're doing well, but I don't know if, hunching on the princess was part of the deal. You could have just came being a sword master. But I think a problem is going to come to play. I think he is really having feelings for that princess. Like, when they go to kiss, you don't have to kiss nobody that passionately when you just playing double agent. Like, I don't know. You could see the way he kind of looked at her. I think there's going to be an issue in his alliance, but also his love for the princess. But I need to understand, because when he goes with the black lady and everybody in that bar, and we find out that he, is this agent, they're talking about the great houses controlling spice. What is this spice? Like, I'm like,
spice is the dope. But basically, you hear it. You hear it when Constantine actually does something worth doing in this episode, and I actually have a slide for that. But when he's talking to Rachese's daughter, she's like basically. Yeah, she's like, well, he was getting tea though. He was getting tea. I wasn't mad at Constantine for that, but basically she says, and we'll get to that slide, but basically Arrakis is the desert planet. That's where it has the spice. This palace, all this doesn't mean a thing. The person who controls the spice makes the rules, because the spice is so integral to how everyone lives their lives. That's where the power is. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I was so confused, because in Zendaya's movie, Zendaya and her people are indigenous to that planet, right? And Valia's family lineage, them Harkonnen people, they control spice, and they're said to be even more powerful than the Emperor because they control spice. But I still was like, baby, what is the spice? Like, I still was kind of confused about, like, what is spice? Why does it run?
The spice allows interstellar travel.
So it's like gas.
Oh, different. So it's like gas.
I think there's so many different uses for it, because you hear people using the spice like in their body. You see that certain poisons are taken from the spice. I just think it's the greatest resource in the galaxy that someone can have.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, it's a resource. It's like a natural resource that everybody wants to get their hands on. Okay, that makes a lot more. Because I was like, baby, what is this spice?
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's what I get from it. That's exactly what I get. So as we're doing all this, we see Rachese, honey, and Rachese is about to go out bad, just like his son. And I said, Rachese, if you don't sit down here somewhere, all right, because he's, this was not an accident. You see my son, we see your burnt up son, sir. I didn't need you to go under the or whatever it was, the sheet, and pull out a leg. We get it. What did you think about Rachese? And this is a little bit out of order, but what did you think about this and his almost demise? Because listen, Desmond wasn't finna play with him at the end of the day. And we're not going to get into everything that happened with Desmond just yet, but I did want to put Rachese in there before I forgot about him, because it was kind of unmemorable to me. But, he get burnt from the inside out. And I said, how can you be healed from this? I think he's a goner either way, but keep your mouth shut. Don't tell nothing about what you saw here, what happened. Nikki, talk to me about Richese and him about to go out real bad if he don't shut up and sit down.
I'm very shocked that you said it wasn't memorable. I really like Richese. He sound like, some girl I used to know up the street, like that name, Richese. Like, I feel like if I had a child, I would name her Richese. Like, something about that name does something for me. But I like him, and he was absolutely valid with everything he said. My son was killed under your roof. Like, it wasn't an accident. Like, everything he said was very valid. Like, his son is dead, and I didn't think he was going out bad because, first of all, Carino is weak. Okay, like, who would not talk to him like this? We don't know that he got the Scorpion King with him that's about to, burn me up. So I don't think he was like going out bad. And I think he probably gonna come back even harder. Like, I don't think he is the type that is going to just fold. So, and I was about to be upset because I was like, are they finna kill Richese off already? I thought if they were going to kill him off, it would have been a little premature. So I'm glad we didn't do that. But I am curious, if you told me to keep my mouth shut and everybody see me burnt up, the hell am I supposed to tell people? Like, so I was very confused about that. But I like Richese, and I actually think Carino was in the wrong. When we see Richese twice, before he gets burned, it's because we are at his son's funeral, and the Emperor wasn't even there. I thought that was extremely, massively disrespectful. Like, my son was killed under your roof. How dare you not at least have the decency to show up to the funeral? And I remember thinking, what the hell is the Emperor doing that he's not here? It better be something important. Nah, he was just talking to Desmond. I'm like, I really thought that was massively disrespectful, especially for someone who needs his fleet and like needed this whole thing for what, the war with somebody, child. He needed that fleet. But I thought Richese was absolutely in the right. Because how dare you not at least be here to stand in front of me at my son's funeral when my son died under your roof? I thought Richese was absolutely in the right for me.
I don't think he was wrong, but I do think he's about to get burnt up if he didn't lower his voice and tone and change that around. He could have been justified, but I think if he wouldn't have said the word, Desmond would have incinerated him from the inside out, and he would have been laying up on the table just like little Pruey was. And Richese has ulterior motives too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everybody is after something, but at least he has the courage of his convictions. And you're right, Carino is weak-willed, so
that's why I'm like, if it weren't for Desmond, who wouldn't talk to Carino this way? Like who wouldn't? Like, why wouldn't? Because let's be honest, from episode 1, Richese to me is much more of like, not to say he's a good man, because like you said, we know there's something sinister with him, but he is a lot more like strong than Viserys II, like than Carino. Like, why would I not kind of buck up on Carino? I don't know that he got a sorcerer with him. So why would not?
I mean, you would. I'm saying all about your child. EJ, what did you think about the whole Richese moments? What did you think about him being almost burnt up from the inside out? And was he justified?
Well, first and foremost, may little Pruitt rest in peace, little Charlie, because he's a goner. But no, seriously though, Richese had every right to come at Carino the way that he came at him. I mean, it was, at the end of the day, my child was in your place. He was here. You were supposed to protect him. I mean, this is the Emperor, for crying out loud. You are the man, for crying out loud. You're supposed to have like the top security. There's no way that something should happen like this under your watch. So I understand all his energy and why he was doing it, but he was about to get fried and diced to the side. That was about to happen. But that just brings me back to Desmond again. Like, why? What are we doing? Like, you can't even control yourself. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like I don't understand. Like, you come through. Richese has every reason to feel the way that he feels. Carino, he is weak. He is super, super weak. You got to bring Desmond out here, your little henchman, to come out here and do his thing. And then you can't even control it to the point where we're about to have another body. Then it's gonna look real suspicious. Like, come on, Desmond, do better. That's all I'm saying. Do better.
Meanwhile, back at the Sisterhood headquarters, Tula, you don't love Lila. This was low down, y'all. This was terrible.
It
Telling
was.
this baby who never had a home, a family, anything that, oh, if you do this, if you go through the agony, you could see your mama. You could meet your mama for the first time. What kind of witchcraft and wizardry and deception was this, Tula? I hated this, and I had hope for Tula. But in my mind, if she's willing to do this to a girl that she raised from a baby, watched her grow, has been teaching her. They even have a moment, I've wanted to call you my mom. Tula's like, I have a secret, I feel the same way. And then you basically lie to this baby's face. Because when she get down there, they say, your mama ain't down here. EJ, talk to me about this moment and her really tricking Lila into this.
Okay, so first and foremost, y'all know how I feel about the greater good, right? And I feel like sometimes people gotta go for the greater good. Some stuff just have to happen. Now, was Tula wrong for this? She was absolutely wrong for this. Do I have sympathy for this baby girl? Absolutely. But, however, something needed to happen. We needed to know what Raquel was thinking. We needed the answers. And this was the only way that we could get the answers, was doing this agony thing, whatever they call it. I'll get the lingo down sooner or later. But if this was the only way that this could happen, then I mean, we got to do it by any means necessary. And if that means that we got to play on your heartstrings and to get you to do this, then that's what we got to do. And Tula gave Valia her word that she could get it done. So she had to get it done. I mean, it is what it is. But, Tula was cut down for this one.
I feel like it will always piss me off when I see an uneven power dynamic and someone with little to no knowledge being manipulated by this woman of gargantuan age. This is a child who's never been out of the sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's never been in the real world. She doesn't know the political prowess. She doesn't think of you as a manipulator. You're like her mother, and you play on that to put her in jeopardy, to actually for us to see her at the end of the episode either possessed, right? Because I think Dorothea might use that body, or dead as a doornail, which is what she looks like. This was so low down. I don't give a damn about the greater good. If you loved her like you say you do, if you love me like you say you do, you would have never, ever done this. Nikki, talk to me about this moment.
Yeah, this was I'm with you as far as like the power dynamics, the age difference, everything that Tula has over Lila. I truly thought it was disgusting. Like, it was just pure manipulation at its finest. What I thought was really interesting was in the episode when we find out if a sister gives birth, she doesn't raise her child, she doesn't have her child, like someone else gets the baby, so you don't put any bond above the sisterhood. I thought that was so interesting because I'm looking at it as, okay, so Tula is basically what I guess in our world we would say is like a adoptive parent, right? Like, she basically is like the adoptive parent of Lila, which to me, you're like her real parent. Like, you've raised her, you've bonded with her as your child, even though she isn't. So I feel like that just added all kinds of layers to how really disgusting this was. And that's why I was like, damn, I guess a mother's love ain't that damn strong. Like, because I just cannot fathom. And when we talk about this whole, it's the greater good, I think that whole greater good thing is real blurry. I think it's real blurry right now because the greater good that Valia is fighting for, I'm with EJ in the fact that I'm not even sold on whose side is the right side at this point. Like, this whole greater good thing. And also, I feel like if you're going to put me in jeopardy, I at least have the right to know the full scope and the real truth. Like, don't put me in jeopardy under false pretense, under lies. Like, you need to just say, look, this is what it is. We can't do this without you. Like, I just feel like I hate how they're the truth sayer, truth tellers, but they don't tell the fucking truth.
They don't tell the truth. Well, like, what I think is interesting, Nikki, that they keep saying, they said it last episode and this episode, he's telling the truth, or they're telling the truth based on what they perceive as the truth. And I think you talked about that last week as well. And so I like that the show makes us question that, because what is the truth? Is it because it's true to you that makes it the truth? Are we talking about a universal truth? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think they get creative with that in the sisterhood.
I agree, but I disagree. It reminds me of when people always say, well, it's my truth, your truth, and like the truth. No, baby, it's one truth. Like either it is or it isn't. There is one MF and truth, like period. And I get when the show is when like someone goes to say something. Desmond, I think Desmond was the one who did it twice. I think it was Valia, and then it was Kasha, who was like, yes, it's the truth, or he believes it's the truth. I get that. It's kind of like on Seinfeld. When George is the master liar and he trying to tell Jerry how to pass the lie detector test. He's like, it's not a lie if you believe it's true. Yes, I get that that's kind of the thread of the show is they're truth sayers and they're reading if people lie. But if you believe it, it's not a lie. But baby, a lie is a lie and the truth is the truth. Like there is only one.
Well, we know that, Nikki, but do they know the Sisterhood seems like they package. Yes. But the Sisterhood seems like they package it in such a way that that's how they can navigate freely in their truth.
I agree, but I think they know they're manipulating and they know that it's not authentic. But yes, that's how they operate. But I think, yes, they know they're manipulating people. They know they're moving people around like a pawn, like a chess game. And I thought this was this. I just feel like where were you know how they say there's no honor amongst thieves? Like, shouldn't we at least have a code amongst the sisterhood? Shouldn't we at least not manipulate each other? Shouldn't we at least not like why isn't there a code at least for the sisterhood?
You know they got a writ somewhere. You know they got a holy writ, some sort of rules. Every order does. We just ain't seen it yet because Valia makes the rules. Okay,
yeah, but the rules as Valia sees it.
Now we are back on Seleucus Secundus and Constantine. He does like coochie, y'all. That was one of the conversations that we had last week. We said, listen, do he want? I thought he was gonna have him a little boyfriend somewhere. Is what I thought as well.
The show ain't over.
But apparently, listen, he was in that box. She said, "No, baby."
He could be in the boy next week. We don't know.
He could. Hey. The season is still young. We got 4 more episodes. But in this, I was here for Constantine. But we also discover in this moment that Constantine has daddy issues. I just want to be seen, loved, respected by my father. I want him to hear me. And so he's here. I think he feels like he's doing a reconnaissance mission because he's like, oh, so, we're in the palace. Your dad's upset. What he's going to pull his fleet. He's going to do X, Y, or Z. She's like, you really think my daddy talks to me? I can tell you one thing, that it ain't about this damn palace. It ain't really about the Imperium. It is about who controls the spice, right? And so I think he is going to, in some way, package this information to present to his daddy so he can be seen. I'm really over this trope in a lot of these fantasy stories, in a lot of stories, period, where the son isn't seen. Like, oh, it's all about my sister Nezzy. My father doesn't listen to me. I really could care less, honestly, Constantine. I thought you were going to be interesting, and then you just turning out to be, I thought in this moment you were going to be interesting, but I was wrong. Nikki, talk to me about Constantine and him liking coochie and maybe getting some useful information from Marchese's daughter.
Well, first of all, Ashley, who thought Constantine was going to be interesting?
No, I'm saying in this moment when he was questioning her, I was like, oh, he might be more interesting than I thought, because we all thought he was a dry bag of socks last episode. But I thought here, I said, oh, he's doing something.
Look, he was doing something, but he was doing nothing. I felt like she was the smartest one in this conversation. Like if you're going to get info, like if you're Constantine, baby, you get info. You don't give info. You don't pillow talk with random, like this is what the prince does. He ain't got nothing better to do. So he just hold around. You don't pillow talk with every random girl that you laid up with. Getting information with everything that Marchese's daughter was saying, that's fine. But he should not have been running his little stupid mouth when he goes to say, stuff about Desmond, when he, goes to talk about, and she's like, wait, does this have something to do with my brother? That irked me. That irked me so bad, because why are you running your mouth at all to say, oh, he's from Arrakis, the man my father had taken into custody. He thinks I don't see anything. This why your father don't do nothing for you now. because you do stupid stuff like this. And I don't think he's really going to have a chance to tell his father anything, because when they're in that room together and her father is there and he's like, your son, was running his mouth, the way his daddy looked over there, like, you little bastard child. Like, really? I don't think he's going to have a chance getting his father's good graces. And they're going to storm the palace soon, so he ain't got much time anyway to get in his dad's good graces. But I thought she was the more interesting character in this scene. Like, she was playing him like a fiddle. Like, she was playing him up, down, and around. She got everything she needed to get, and she ran tell that to her daddy. His little behind should not have ran his mouth. That really, well, when I tell you, just gossiping.
Just running his mouth. EJ, what did you think about Constantine in this moment? Were you surprised at this liaison? I will say this to the cinematographer and set design and all that. This was a moment. This was a shot. This was a look, honey. I was like, is this a tree house? It's open to the outside. Like, I see the sheets draping. Like, it was a moment. What did you think, EJ?
Well, first and foremost, I really liked this scene right here. I was here for the schmecks. I was like, okay, look at y'all. Like, y'all, because I didn't know what side old Constantine was playing for, but I was here for all of it. I was like, okay, and I wasn't even really paying attention to their conversation so much. I was more engulfed in what was actually happening. I mean, it felt like he took her to the moon and back. Did you not see that part when she was like, oh my God? I said, what are we doing here? Okay, I said Constantine is putting it down. But yeah, he was talking too much. Y'all know I don't know what side I'm on right now, but when I go over here to this side right here, I'm thinking to myself, like, why are we telling this? Like, why are we telling this to her? Because she's about to go and tell her daddy. You know that, right? And I don't feel like she got enough information for him to run back and tell his daddy. So I felt like it was an imbalance of information. But at the same time, I mean, it's Constantine, so we don't see how he come through at some point. But I did like the schmecks.
And he was on that spice. She said, "Here, take some. Take a."
Yeah, so you can loosen up and run your mouth. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. But just listen to me. I'm useful, Dad. And again, Carino is still useless. Watch Natalia. Watch her work, y'all. I'm saying she the one to watch. I enjoy every time she comes on the screen. I really think she's going to try Desmond. I think she's going to try to give up that ancient hootenanny to Desmond. I think.
No, why it gotta be ancient?
She gonna try to give it up to Desmond. I see it. I feel it. Because basically, Carino is still weak-willed. He still don't know which way to go. He done arrested Desmond, and she's like, "Why would you arrest? Hold on, he's doing our bidding. Like, why are we gonna try to make a enemy of our friend? He's doing us a favor. Let's use him again." Without a strong woman by his side, Carino is useless. At this point, he's a puppet. He is a figurehead, which anybody can pull his strings at any given point. Ultimately, Desmond will probably get rid of Natalia once her allegiance shift. But for now, it's up and it's stuck. She's like, oh, we're going to ride with Desmond because he's going to get the job done. She likes the power. I think it turns her on. Like, I think when he was incinerating that man, she was like, oh, is this what you do, Desmond? Like, I think she loves every bit of it. And Carino gonna listen to what she says. EJ, talk to me about this moment. And what do you think of Carino after watching episode 2?
Okay, so first of all, Carino is always going to be weak no matter what. If you cannot make your own decisions without other people, that's his main problem, is that he relied on his truthsayers way too much. That was the first thing. And then when he wasn't relying on them, of course, he's relying on his wife to tell him what to do. As a leader, you have to be able to it's okay to consult people. I mean, I would be crazy if I said that people shouldn't consult other people, because there might be some information they got that you might not have. That's just facts. But you got to be able to make a decision, make a choice. You got to be able to read the room. It's like Carino doesn't know how to do any of those things, and it's like he's just sitting there just to be sitting there. How can you have a thing how can you look at your son or your half son, whatever he is, and say anything when you are the example that he has to look up to? I mean, what are we doing here? I think Carino is going to be his own downfall. I think that his wife is the one who is going to really be leading things. She's the one who told him this about Desmond, even though I didn't necessarily agree with it. I don't think it was the play, but I get it. I just don't like Desmond. So that's just where I'm at right now with it. But I get it. It was smart. So I'm not saying it was smart. I just don't like him. But that was a good choice. Like, why put this man in there? Instead, just use him. You see that he's basically trying to be on your side. Like you said that you didn't want that wedding to happen, that you wanted a sign. He gave you a sign. He did it for you, and then told you straight up. So why not use him? I would have been using him too. It was smart, but he tried to put him in jail and said it was dumb. So I don't know, but Natalia, she's gonna be something else. She is gonna give up the draws. That is gonna happen. That is exactly what's gonna happen between her and Desmond. And Desmond is going to turn on her. I absolutely, wholeheartedly, 100% believe that. I don't like Natalia in the sense of just the character that I believe that she is the greater manipulator, but I do like her style, if that makes sense. Like I like somebody who can turn the tables on people and use their feminine wiles to do what they need to do to get it done. And I love that red that she had on. She just looked like she about to wreak havoc on somebody.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Nikki, what did you think about this? Do we need to watch Natalia? And is she going to try Desmond? And what do you think of Carino post episode 2?
Maybe I can't read the room, but I see nothing going on between her and Carino in that way. I mean, not Carino, Desmond. I don't see anything going on between Natalia and Desmond in the slightest, like at all. Like no way, no shape, way, or form. I think she has her eye on a certain prize, and I don't think it's taking down Desmond. But I mean, Carino weak, so of course his offspring weak, his son weak. But I actually, as much as I like Desmond, I disagree that this was smart. When they are in that throne room and Carino and Natalia them are standing up there and they have Desmond come in and go to incinerate Rachese. The only thing I was thinking was, what happens when your dog turns on you? I would not want anybody who can wield power like that, point blank, period. Because you just never know when they will wield it against you. I actually thought that it wasn't smart. I thought the smart thing would be to keep his behind up in that little sleep jail they had him in. I don't think it's smart at all. Because I feel like he just came out of nowhere. It's not like this is somebody who has been loyal to you and by your side for years. We don't know his motivation. He has a power that is beyond anything the Emperor has. I don't think it's smart to have him. Like, to me, he could turn on you at any moment. And when he told him to stop and he does, what happens when you tell him to stop and he doesn't? Like, you can't control somebody with a power like that. So I guess for me, if I'm in this world and I'm playing this game, I don't want you having more power than me. Like, I don't. Because you can turn it against me at any moment. If he wanted to burn up every single person in that room, he literally could. And they couldn't do anything about it.
But here's the thing, Nikki, he already can. He already can. So it's like, what do you do? Do you take your chances? Because at the end of the day, he can unalive you from across the galaxy. So Carino,
he unalive me while he in the asleep jail.
But he didn't have to go into that asleep jail. That's what my thing. I was like, he never had to go. He could have just did what he needed to do.
So
I think he did that as a sign that he was going to be submissive. I don't think they could have taken him. If he didn't want to be up in that place in that little suspended in space elevator, I don't think he would have. I don't think. No, because Valia is the most powerful of the Sisterhood. And we're going to get to that slide. But if that could happen, none of them people could have captured him, especially a little Kieran Atreides. Because I said, oh, he's a Swordmaster and he's security. Okay.
I agree with that, but I still just feel like he went, and yes, I agree. I think he went up there. It was, it was like a show. Like you said, he could have did whatever he wanted to do. However, I just feel like if you gonna let me put you in the sleep jail, baby, you gonna stay in the sleep jail. Because I don't know, I just don't think it's smart to have anybody that wields a power stronger than you. Like, I don't know. He can literally turn the tables on them anytime he feels like it.
Carino can't be around nobody then. Nikki. Everybody's smarter and stronger than him.
But they can't
get out of sleep jail. To be honest, I think he could really get out of that if he really wanted to. Like, I think that he's that powerful that it was just all a manipulation. Like, I'm gonna go in here knowing that technically I don't have to be in here if I don't want to, and I could get out of this if I want to, but I'm gonna let you feel like you got the power in this situation. I'm gonna let you choose me. I think that that's really where Desmond was with it.
You think Desmond can burn them up from the sleep jail?
I think
Yeah, I don't
so.
think he had to be in there. I don't think it even has to make him sleep.
Yeah, because I feel like what EJ just said is 100% spot on. I think the sisterhood played it wrong. When Valia finally gets the idea that having him weak doesn't work for them, because anybody can come in. Because if you leave somebody weak, you're not the only person that can manipulate them. And she goes to say we have to empower him. I think that's what Desmond did. That's why he went in that sleep jail. He wanted the Emperor to feel like he has power and control. So I get that part. I'm just like, child, if he can't incinerate me from his sleep, we just need to do something. Like I love Desmond, but because I love Desmond, but I'm talking as if I'm the Emperor and his family, baby, get him the hell up out of here. Like I don't like having him around if I'm the Emperor, because you could do anything you want to me. Like literally, like it's like you have yeah, he's all powerful and you're not. So what? He can squish you like a little ant. I don't like that.
Back at the ranch, Lila's in for it. Lila dead as a doornail. So basically, she goes down there in the agony. She takes the poison. She goes down there. She's adapting. She bumps into Raquella, who we think, and we get the prophecy. Someone twice born, one of spice and one of blood. Right. Hold on. I don't even have my notebook. But anyway, it's a cryptic prophecy basically talking about the reckoning is coming. And basically, the reckoning is him, a revenant full of scars, out for war, but his path is too short. Right. That's all we get from Raquella. Then she morphs into damn Dorothea, who comes into Lila, comes and tells Tula, you took my life away. Short. I'm gonna take away your hope. Okay. Next thing we see, the demons are grabbing Lila down there. She got her hemped up. Her mama's not. She goes, "Where's my mom?" Your mama ain't here, Buki. Which makes me know that Lila's mama's still alive somewhere in the galaxy. We just don't know. Knowing Valia, she got her locked up in a dungeon somewhere. Listen, that's what I believe. But when we come back, I really thought Dorothea was going to take over Lila's body. Like, I literally still think that's a possibility of happening if Lila's not dead, because the way she looks on that table is dead as a doornail. Who went last? Nikki. What did you think of this whole moment? And is Lila dead?
Yeah, I will say that was the part that I was a little confused about at the end, because baby looked dead. Baby looked dead, and I was like, is she? But I feel like I will be so upset if this is like the end of Lila, whether she is dead or whether she is just possessed by Dorothea, because she felt like such a smart, like it felt like she was going to be a force to be reckoned with once she got older. Like, I really liked this character, and I felt like she had a lot to offer. But baby, when I tell you, the highlight of the episode for me was Dorothea coming out like, you stole my future, now I'm taking your hope. Like, I love that so much. I already said when we covered the first episode that I actually really liked Dorothea, and I really liked that she stood on business with what she believed. Like, what she believed, what Valia believes is two polar opposites. But I love that she was like, you know what? I'm going to stand in what I think, and I will never, bend to you or bow to you. I love that. And this whole scene, though, I don't know if it's because I'm a horror fan, but I was living for this. Like, the way they made the little underworld afterlife thingy look, like, I loved it. Like, it was literally giving a horror movie. Like, it just worked so well. But I feel sorry for that little baby. And I'm wondering if it's a situation where Dorothea has switched spots. Like, now that little baby stuck down there in the darkness, and Dorothea is going to be in her body. Like, I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen.
That's what I think.
I don't think she's just dead and we're just done with this. I think something, because the whole thing that me and you have been saying, Ashley, is how Valia's ego and her not, like, when she wasn't listening to Kasha, she does not want to listen to anybody, and there's going to be repercussions. She didn't want to listen to Tula when Tula did not want to put Lila through this. So I think there's going to be a repercussion from having Lila go through this agony thingy. So yeah, I think Dorothea has taken over her, and it's not going to be where she's just dead and that's just the end. But I really feel like all of the girls that were up there watching, how can they ever trust the sisterhood? Like, after seeing what you put another of us through, how can we ever trust them? I don't know. I just thought it was not smart for to me to have the girls watching her go through this. I don't know. I just was like, baby, I don't know if I could follow suit. Like, I just don't know if I could go with it. But I hope that after everything happens, where maybe Dorothea gonna use Lila body, maybe Lila gonna get strong, because like we said earlier, I think you or EJ said this is something the sisterhood trains for, and they know how to like get themselves out. Maybe Lila can find some type of strength and eventually get out, but I hope she turned into like a straight villain and go against it. Like, I need Lila to I just like that character, and I just feel like there was a lot more for her to do. So I just hope this isn't the end for her. No, don't say Lila can't come back.
I think she'll come back. She just won't be Lila anymore. I think she'll be Dorothea. EJ, what's say? Oh, go ahead. What, Nikki?
I just want to say, I think she's Dorothea, but I'm hoping we could get Dorothea after Dorothea wreak havoc. I want Dorothea to be her and wreak havoc, but I also want Lila to come back. Like, I want her to just be like the.
She gone, Nikki. She gone. Let her go.
That's what I'm gonna ask EJ. Is she gone? Is she gone? Is Lila gone?
She gone. Lila is out of there. Lila is not coming back, unfortunately, but Lila is coming back, if you know what I mean. Lila is gone, but Lila body is coming back, but it ain't gonna be Lila up in that body. It's gonna be something else up in that body, and they're about to go in, and they're gonna be so smart that they're gonna think that it's Lila. They're gonna think that this is her, and she's gonna infiltrate them. And here we go.
And we're gonna see, y'all, and I'm gonna go through these next ones because we do have a live, like, just in a minute, y'all, in a couple minutes. But I do want to get through all of these. Of course, we see Nikki's man, her boo 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 boo. Yeah, I did it, and I'll do it again. All right. I did it, and I did it again. All right. Double agent Michaela. I wasn't expecting this. The sisterhood is everywhere. Okay. Just know that if you didn't think that Valia got ears and eyes everywhere, like her sister said earlier in the episode, you know now, because Michaela is a whole double agent as well. And I was actually here for that twist. I like her being in the sisterhood. I actually really, really enjoyed that. Now, this was the showdown. This is where I wanted to get to. Because listen, we had to come toe to toe. And like you ladies said earlier, I did not think we were going to get this as soon, but baby, I'm glad we got it. And basically Valia learned that those old tricks don't work on me, Buki. Now I know your greatest fear. So basically she comes into his space. She's interrogating him, or so she thinks. And he's basically, listen, I'm trying to rid the world of the sisterhood. I hate y'all witches. I hate you. And I'm going to end you. Yeah. Did I kill Kasha? I sure did. And I would do it again because I saw the intentions of her heart. And ultimately I'm going to take all of you out at the end of the day. And no, I don't feel sorry about it. No, I'm not going to do anything about it. So do your best. And then she starts calling to the waters, and we hear that voice again. Pull out your blade. He pulls out his blade, and he played with her. This is what I kind of liked about Desmond, because baby, he gonna go down the rabbit hole with you. Pull out your blade. He pulls out his blade. Put it to your throat. Okay, he's sitting it there. Jam it into your throat. And he says, now I know your greatest fear. It's not that you're not going to be heard. It's that you're going to be heard and no one's going to listen. No one's going to give a damn about what you say. And he's like, this is easier than I thought. I got you pegged, and now you're going to be banished. EJ, talk to me about this interaction. And was it everything you wanted it to be? Was it everything you expected?
It was quick. I did not expect this to happen this soon. I thought this would be like one of those end of the season type of things where we would finally meet these two together. But I'm happy that it has already happened, which means that we can only go up from here at this point. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I feel like Valia is going to have to go back and dig in her bag of tricks, and she's going to have to figure out something else, because whatever this is that has a hold of Desmond, whatever it is that is inside of him, because there is something above him that is controlling all of this, she ain't never seen it before, and she's going to have to figure out what it is. Otherwise, you know, it's donezo for the entire sisterhood. At any point, he could pretty much take out the whole sisterhood the same way we were just talking. He could take them all out, but he wants to play this game out. There's a reason why he's doing this little by little. End game is that he wants that spot. He wants to take over that whole situation. But why are we doing it so slowly? Why are we playing it like this? And that's what I'm most interested in seeing. But this was everything. I love this. This is the best part.
But here's the thing, Desmond, we learned in this episode officially, right, that he made a deal with Shai Hadud, which are the great sandworms that are on Arrakis in the desert, right? And so, like he says last episode, I gave him my eye and they gave me all these powers. He made literally a deal with the devil. So I don't even think he's moving of his own free will and volition. Nikki, close us out. Let us know what you thought about this interaction. And is he doing this all for himself to take over, or is there some greater purpose?
You know what? Yes, that is why I said he was the Scorpion King. He went out there into the desert and he made a deal with the worm. Them worms be looking freaky. I just saw that Dune movie. Oh my God. But I thought this was so amazing. And I'm actually happy because I feel like EJ, I thought we were going to, like, you know how action movies do where you know you're building up to a showdown between like the main villain and the main hero. I thought we were building to like the season finale would be the like showdown. But I like that we did it like this because we have this whole thing kind of like Game of Thrones, like we're playing this game, and this was just round one. So I actually like that we got this face off, and it's Desmond. He won 1 point. Desmond, he won this one, and I absolutely love when Valia comes in here and Desmond pulled a Shawnee and he said, "Thank you for your services." And I absolutely about fell out when she goes to use the voice and it literally doesn't work because like that voice is supposed to be able to control everyone. Like I just like that's massive. That is such a massive thing that the voice didn't work on him. And I love how shook she was. And we know the ego she has, and we know her whole issue with like her family, the hearkening, the shame that was on her family. She won't even give them people a truth teller. So Desmond saw right through her. I love the whole, this is your biggest fear. Oh, so this is it. Baby, I got you shook already. I didn't even pull out all the bags of tricks and you shook. I thought this was amazing. Yes, only up from here, but I can't wait to see Valia win around because this is just round one. We got a few more episodes to go. This was super exciting. I can't wait to see what Valia like goes to muster up. What she gonna put somebody else in the underworld. I don't know. She's gonna try to pull something out, and I'm super excited to see what she does.
I am too, y'all. And that was Dune episode 2. Thank y'all so much for coming through and being here. Nikki, I do want to give you the floor to let everyone know what you have going on over there at A Night of Horror.
Yes, I am Nikki. My channel is A Night of Horror with the K. I cover horror movies. I actually have a huge tier list ranking where it will be massive, like ranking a bunch of horror monsters, villains, creatures. I am also covering Silo and a bunch of other fun things. So, I can't think right now. My brain is fried. But a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, mostly horror, but I do dabble into other genres and TV shows as well. And of course, I will be here every Wednesday with the ladies. But look, don't expect me to be nowhere at the same time, except for these women on Wednesday. Okay.
Thank you so much. Me and EJ will see you guys in the Married at First Sight live starting now. I'm going to hop over there and we will give you the full schedule. Nikki, thank you for putting us on the schedule, friend. Thank you for actually keeping to a schedule to cover Dune with us. You know how I love this show. It already holds a special place in my heart, and I'm so glad you are here for it as well. Thank you, EJ, for being here. And you guys hop on over to Married at First Sight if you